Welcome back to the Agent Gold Mine. My name is Jake Logan, and we have the coolest guest in the world today. She is gonna rip apart my podcast because she is the podcast expert. No, I'm just kidding. She's gonna offer support and feedback. That's what she
That's
does.
right. But, did you mean to say the Agent Goldmine? Was that like a joke or did you
Oh, yeah,
accidentally?
my bad. We'll cut that out.
You said, "Welcome back to the Agent." No, I think it's hilarious.
We should leave that one on there.
I feel at
That'd be good.
home.
All
Yeah,
right.
in case listeners don't know, there's also a podcast for agents called The Agent Goldmine that
Yeah.
Allie and I
Joke
host.
on you, guest host.
Yeah, actually, this is a plot twist. This is
Yeah.
actually going on Goldmine,
So, with that
and I'm
being said,
interviewing
welcome back
you.
to the Outdoor Agent Podcast with Jake Logan. I am a real estate agent here in North Carolina with EXP Land and Ranch. I am the North Carolina ambassador for Land and Ranch. So, as I stated before, they made a huge mistake. They said, Jake, we need you around here and we need you to be the face of this organization in this group in this area. And I was like, my headshot's drinking beer, right? Like, just you may not want this, it's a bad decision, but they said anyways, we're going to go for it, and it's been really good. So I actually am excited to bring on Shelby Johnson today, who is the host of the Agent Goldmine podcast, and
Co-host.
actually the founder of Five Pillars, which is who I joined with when I got out of the military, started doing real estate, and Shelby was the third person that I was allowed to talk to
Oh, wow.
after the interviews of everybody else, between Jake Dixon, who was guest number one, Ruben Garcia, who's guest number two, and now we got the heavy hitter Shelby Johnson, who is now guest number four technically, but whatever.
One didn't make the cut.
Yeah, Shelby, how are you? How's everything going? You got some big things going on in life outside of real estate too.
I'm doing so well. I feel great. Yeah, I'm in Lexington, Kentucky. I used to be in Fayetteville, North Carolina. I'm telling listeners out there who might not know, and moved here a couple years ago and built my business from the ground up in a brand new market, which was a very interesting, exciting, experiments type of thing. And now, loving that, and also pregnant with my first child, my husband and I. So that's the exciting news that Jake was talking
Hell
about.
yeah,
We are stoked in May if all things go well. Knock on
dude, that's my
wood.
birthday.
Yeah. I just realized that someone was like, "Oh, like how close to Mother's Day?" And I was like, "When is Mother's Day?"
Yeah, first of all, I don't know.
I think it's May 10th. Someone's gonna be like, clearly she's not a mom yet.
Lakin's birthday is May 9th.
Oh, really?
Mine's May 19th.
Oh, nice,
Dude,
dude. I
we're
mean,
just a
I'm
party in
chances
May.
are chances are I land on one of Mother's Day or your two birthdays.
That was what Lakin always said when she's growing up. She's like, "Man, it's Mother's Day. I was born on Mother's Day. Like, it kinda sucks a little bit because
Oh,
it's like,
it's
oh,
May 9th.
well, your mom's always gonna be like, well, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be here." Yeah,
Right. Very sweet. Okay,
but
so you're telling me it's May 9th, and I was indeed wrong.
no,
When Mother's
like
Day was. Oh,
it
does it change?
fluctuates every year, yeah, I think.
Gotcha. Things I might know next year.
Maybe. I mean,
Which actually sounds terrible, like, as if I don't celebrate my own mother, which I do. She's great. Shout out. You're awesome, mom.
no, it's one of those deals where it's like, if it changes every year, I have a hard enough time remembering what I did yesterday. I can't remember
Yeah, for sure.
whatever. But anyways, so Shelby here, like I said, having a new baby, that's going to be a whole different dynamic in the business game, the family game. I'm surprised mine is not up here with like a snack behind his back asking if he can, Daddy, look what I got. He sneaks it in there, man. But no, it'll be awesome. And then you you move from Fayetteville to Charlotte to Lexington, and you're saying you're
Mhm.
building your business from from the ground up,
Yeah.
basically. And that's what I want to get into here in a little bit too, is how your business has changed and like what your clientele looks like. Because I know you
So
went to
much
Lexington with something in mind, and you had it basically laid
mapped
out of
out.
how you wanted to do it,
And
which is
with pretty much
cool.
every plan, it changed. But I love where I landed. I'm like, and the bigger, like, overarching intent of the plan, like the changes that I made coming from the last time I really, really sold real estate was in Fayetteville. I know that I had Charlotte for a couple years in between, but in that period of time, I sold a little bit in Charlotte, but more was focused on building Five Pillars Nation and podcasts and real estate rock stars and like all of these different things that weren't like I didn't really dive deep into the Charlotte market. So in my mind, for sales purposes, I skipped. It was from Fayetteville to where I am now in Lexington, Kentucky, which I did just directly comparing those two. I had a lot of very, very specific plans on like what I'm going to do different this time around, who I'm going to target, how I'm going to target them, the
In true
lifetime
Shelby
will,
fashion,
all of all of the plans.
specific targets.
Yeah, dude, got to.
No, that's what I thought was pretty cool too, because like you have somebody like you who you jumped into real estate, just kind of like me, like you just got burnt out from the Army, man. Like the Army will take it from you, like
For
it
sure.
really will, and you're like, yeah, I can work as hard as I want, be the best out there, work overtime, extra hours, whatever. There is no overtime in the Army, unfortunately, but at the end of the day, you're still going to get paid the same as that dirtbag next to you that doesn't do a goddamn thing.
Yep.
Or it'd be a dynamic like me and you, where somebody in my rank and position would be working hand in hand with you, and you're getting paid double what I am, and I'm doing all the goddamn shitty work because I'm enlisted. So I love my officers because they made my life a lot easier. But it is that thing. It's like we do the same job, and it still sucks because it's half the paycheck, and it doesn't reward you if you work extra hard. It does, but not monetarily. So we both got out of the military and did real estate. Shelby, on the other hand, came out like a freaking bat out of hell. And is like, you know what? If we're gonna do real estate, we're gonna fucking kill it. So I want to get into how it started with you in your first year of business or real estate. I'm sure you've told this to billions of people already,
Billions.
but it's gonna set that stage for like kind of how you develop things over time intentionally, and
Yeah.
now you've toned it back to where it is sustainable. It's not gonna burn you out every
Mhm.
year. You know what I mean? And now you can
Yeah.
do things on your own time and on your own, like essentially whatever you want to do. You don't have to be super busy. You can pick and choose.
Great.
That first year,
Mhm.
that was with brokerage, kind of like your typical in office,
Mhm.
like with a team type thing. How'd that go?
Well, I wasn't joining a team. So when I got out of the Army, I actually got out with the intent of being like a real estate investor exclusive. Like when I first decided to get out, I was like, I am just going to be an investor. I drank all of the Kool-Aid on Robert Kiyosaki and Bigger Pockets of like, buy the investment properties and make money while you sleep, that type of thing.
In
Um,
Fayetteville, for sure, it works.
yeah, for sure, and it was actually a really great time to do that because I decided to get out in 2017, and I did get out in January of 2018. So, back in those days, it was a lot less competitive. There were really great deals everywhere you looked on the MLS, but also off the MLS. So it was like a really good time to scoop a lot of properties if you are willing to absolutely work hard. I know like now it's easy for people to be like, oh, well, back then it was a lot easier. It was like, yeah, there were definitely more opportunities in a lot of ways, but you still had to work very, very hard, especially when you didn't know anything, which was me.
Yeah.
I did not
Well,
know
you didn't
anything.
have somebody like you don't have somebody like I do with you and the rest of Five Pillars that have been there, done that. Like
I did feel very alone in the whole process, which I'll get into a little bit of why I did some of the things that I did. But even in I was like, hey, I'm going to get out. I'm going to be a real estate investor. It was probably because that was a year before I actually got out. And as I was going through, I did like my first investment property before I actually got out. And I was like, oh my God, that was actually a lot of money because I did traditional 25% down on a duplex that was only $75,000. But I just remember at the closing table being like, I can't do this all the time. Like with all costs included, it was like I want to say it was like $23,000 to close and all the things. And I
yeah,
was like,
that
dude,
hurts, man. People don't think about that.
I was like, this property is only $75,000. How do people keep doing this? And that's when I was like, okay, one, I need to figure out how to make money fast. And 2, I need to figure out how to buy rentals and keep going at the pace that I want to go without doing the conventional 25% down because it will just straight drain me. And so that's when I was like, my agent who helped me buy that duplex, who I'm not gonna put him out there. But I just remember being like, I feel like I did everything. I really feel like I did all the research, like even with negotiating, and I was like, dude, you just made 3%, which on $75,000 is not a lot of money. Let's be real.
Yeah.
But I was like, I can do that, man.
Trust me, I feel you. That's what, like, a lot of my land deals are 1 acre lots at
Yeah.
75,000. I'm
Oh
like,
my God, the
"Oh, I
pennies.
cannot keep this going, man."
Exactly. You just can't do it. But I did do it. Fast forward that like my average sales price my first year was $155,000.
Damn.
Which and I had so many that were under, 100 to like balance that out. And like I
Yeah.
just remember busting my butt and getting like, $1,500. I was like, I can't live off this. Anyway,
Did you have a TC and, like, other admin expenses too?
I didn't until September of 2018. So 2018 was year 1. I got out in January of 2018. Had no idea what I was doing, but I had my first closing in March. Then I had a couple more in April. In May, I had 5 in 1 week, which was crazy. And it was at that point in time where I'm like, I need help. Like,
Yeah.
I don't feel confident that I know how to make money, but also I'm dying with the amount of work and I don't want things to fall through the cracks because that's a big part of like my personal brand and reputation is like competence, being on it, like having all of the pieces, being 3 steps ahead. And if I didn't have someone doing the tedious, anyone can do this work, then I couldn't be having my eyes up on the horizon and catching problems before they happen.
Well, I mean, and that's even coming from a background where your job largely and in whole in the Army was a lot of admin, a lot of paperwork,
Oh,
keeping
totally.
track of everything, and
Oh,
it's
paperwork
still
going me
overwhelming, you
mhm.
know?
Yeah. For sure, for sure. So it was May where I was like, "Man, I need help," and I went through 2, cheap options, and what I mean by that is, like, I think a lot of agents do this or people starting a business, they're like, "Man, I don't feel confident in my income. I know I need help, so let me just find my friend who's looking for a side
Yeah.
hustle or like
Discount
my
options and
whoever's." Yeah, it's like, "Oh, well, they can do it cheap and I can just teach them what to do." So went through 2 of disasters. And then by September, of 2018, Ruben actually put me in touch with Megan Amarine, who was a transaction coordinator at that time, had her own like third party business, and she absolutely changed my life. I doubled the amount of closings I could do the next month. She and I are like, 2 peas in a pod for the next several years. Like she helped build Five Pillars
sounds
team
like
into
almost
a huge.
overnight then.
Oh my God.
Like, it just
Yeah.
made that much of a difference.
It was insane. It was absolutely insane.
Awesome.
And so that's when I was like, okay, I'm such a believer, such a
Yeah.
believer. But now it's so funny because Megan has, at this point, she had 0 kids when we first started. She now has 4 and she like hasn't done TC or admin work
Mm.
in a few years now. And so now when I'm like, I'm in this new market and I have such high standards now for what
No.
my TC should be.
Well, you got in with, like, my other buddy, we were talking about hunting on the last podcast and, up in Alaska, he's like, "Dude, you were, like, hunting with Cadillacs up there." Like, that was just the best place to be hunting. Well, same with
Oh,
you, like, you jumped in and you had this TC that knocked it out of the
oh
park.
my
You had this
God.
Cadillac just cruising, and then you go somewhere else or you don't work with that person, you're like, "Oh, shit,
I know.
I gotta drive a beater now. Like, what am I gonna
That's
do?"
my yeah, it's been a real struggle, with, like, who my expectation for what I know what is possible, and it's just, hard. I did try to well, it doesn't matter. This is a story. We're getting too far down the road
Yeah, it's
probably for that.
no, it definitely makes sense, though. So your first year,
Yeah,
you were Keller Williams Rookie of the Year.
I was.
And you did 40, 50,
48
48
for the
transaction your
yeah.
first year, and I wanna put that into context, right? Because when I got licensed, I sold 3 in 3 months. I was like, "Dude, this is easy. This is great." I wasn't even out of the military yet. Whatever. It's, past the statute of limitations now, I'm sure. You're not supposed to make money while you're doing your CSP, or TSP, but I ended up whatever the hell it's called, CSP?
CSP, yeah.
Yeah. But, if you word things the right way, it works out. But anyways, so I did my internship was with the Five Pillars group. Five Pillars doesn't pay people, so it works out that way. But I did 3 and I was like, this is crazy. It's a lot. I was doing it quick, and I don't know how people do 30. Still to this day, I don't know how people do 30 plus transactions in a year and have multiple closings, like one closing a week. That just seems crazy to me. But you did 48, and for 9 months out of that first year, you didn't even have a TC or any back end support minus Keller Williams, whatever they offered. Dude, that's
Yeah.
nuts. I
It's
still don't.
looking back now, I am like, I don't know how I did that. Like, I really don't.
Well, not only that, it's like you talked about the price point. Do you know
Ugh.
how many transactions you got to do to make like the army salary at
I
that point?
literally so my first year, I made 150,000, which was incredible for
Yeah,
me. That was like twice as much as I was making as a captain at that time. But I remember, talking to other people in other markets because it was around 6 million in volume, something like that. And I remember talking to other people who had done fraction of the closings that I did and made more. And I was
dude.
like,
Yes.
bro.
I was just talking to a guy with Land and Ranch. Actually, he just joined Land and Ranch because why not? He's in everything else, like he's got the money coming in because of his market. Like his average commission's like 30 grand
Yeah, that's incredible.
because of the average home is $1.3 million where he's at. And that's like $150,000 house here in Fayetteville. And it's mind blowing.
Yeah.
And so that kind of got my wheels turning. So I started doing some other things too, but it's neither here nor there. So of those 48 transactions, so if you didn't know, with 5 pillars and the group that they're in, and me and Shelby are not going to get to everything that we wanted to do, I can just
Oh,
tell
for
you
sure
that
not.
now. I almost had my computer die. Holy cow.
Oh, wow.
Um, but the group that they kind of put together and everything, they focused on that real estate investing side of everything. And that's how, you can supplement your income as an agent. You don't realize as an agent, you have access to so many things that a lot of investors wish they did for free. Like, or, you're obviously paying your dues and monthly dues and stuff like that. But these investors that are looking for these deals to come up, like, Raul, when I did my internship with him, he taught me, he's like, I go into every listing appointment looking to see how I can buy it, if it makes sense. And you provide solutions. And that was one thing I didn't realize with real estate. You're not looking for that next paycheck necessarily. You're looking for, how can I provide a solution to this that works for everybody, including me, and while still kind of maintaining, ethical and moral, standards and stuff like that. But so let's fast forward to Ruben. I think we already kind of talked about that with his podcast. So like Ruben introduced you to the legend, old Mike G. How did that?
Yes. Yeah, that was awesome. That was back in the beginning. I want to say it was like March of 2018 when he introduced us, and it was as a client agent relationship. That's how it was introduced. Like I was going to help him. He was under a contract one point for one of my listings, and literally the deal fell through the day of closing, and I was like, "Oh wow, this is
I
great."
heard.
Great learning experience for
Yeah.
everyone. But anyway, it was after that, he and I stayed in touch. Like we have very similar, I would say, energy, especially at
You
that
sure
time. We're
do.
like all fire and
Dude,
gasoline between the
y'all
two
would
of
have
us.
scared the shit out of me if I would have been joining the old Five Pillars group.
We used to scare people and unintentionally. Like we were being really nice. We
You're
had
just
this one
intense people, man. But
we're
like, you're
intense.
great people. You're just intense, man.
Really, and we have really high standards, which
Yeah.
I think really helped when the two of us, because he was the one who actually sparked the idea for Five Pillars Realty Group, as it was at the time, because I was at Keller Williams, I was an individual agent. And he called me and was like, hey, like, this is after the deal had fell through that he was going to buy. We still were friends. He was like, hey, like, I want to get out of the army. And what do you think about like starting a team? Like, I want to do what you're doing. I feel like
Did
we have
he
really
have
good.
any real estate background at that point?
He had way more than I did.
Oh, really? So he's been doing the investment game and
He'd
all
been
that
doing
stuff.
the investment stuff. He'd
Gotcha.
been doing a lot of homework, like research, and he'd also been doing like wholesaling
It's
type
all
of
those SF
activities.
guys, man. They watch these
Distracting.
podcasts and their brains wired different. Like they
Oh my
learn it
God.
so fast.
For sure. Yeah, and so he was like, I mean, I know I don't have my license or anything, but like if you started a team, I would join it. And so that's how like Five Pillars team, well, back then Five Pillars Realty Group was 100% mine by like ownership and all of that stuff, but Mike was so impactful in every single way in building it, and we did so much stuff together like outside. So there was the team where I was like the agent who was helping him learn how to be an agent and bringing on agents. But he and I would brainstorm so much stuff for the team, and he would take on a lot of projects and implement. But outside of that, we would also do a ton of investment deals together. Like there was one at one point where I think that he and I owned like, I want to say like 30 or 40 units together, which is crazy. We also would do flips. Like and we also started Pints of Properties. This kind of goes back to what you were saying in the beginning about how like I felt really isolated back then with not, I didn't have a community to join that was into investing and all that stuff. So that's one of the reasons why I started Pints and Properties in 2018, is because I was like, hey, like I need someone to talk to about real estate. Maybe if I just put it out there into the world, people will be interested, and if I have beer, if we do it like at a brewery, maybe people will just come and get drunk and talk about real estate with me. And that's how Pints and Properties was started.
That's
And
what
I
sold
didn't,
me.
what? Yeah,
Sold
exactly.
me, man.
You want to talk real estate? No. Well, do you want to come and drink and then
You want to
maybe
make
talk real estate
you want to
later?
make bad decisions, get drunk, and spend money? Like, maybe.
Yeah, but I didn't know at the time that it would be just such a huge lead generation stream
Yeah.
for myself and for the team. That was like an unintentional. There were so many things that were like really fun ideas that like had these amazing unintentional.
But dude, you guys that was a cool thing about it. Like when I joined, I seen everything that Five Pillars were doing, and I seen, the Pints of Pride. It's a lot different now, obviously, because,
Mhm,
it is what it is. People move, they move to other places, they do different things.
totally.
But
Right.
like I saw what you guys were doing as a group and as a team, and like I wish I was there in the beginning, because like
Oh,
that's what I
glory
envisioned,
days.
kind of what I'm doing. But at the end of the day, too,
Yeah,
like most of you guys weren't married, most of you guys didn't
exactly.
have kids at the time. Like you
None of
were in
us.
your 20s, early 30s, just
Yep,
you basically like a professional in like business college atmosphere. It's like, dude, we're gonna fucking crush it. Nobody's telling us what to do. You don't have, you
exactly.
you could live in a box if you wanted to, because you had to provide for your family at the time in order
Dude,
to make that money later.
you hit
You
the
know,
nail on the head in so many ways. That is it. We had literally nothing else in our lives
you
except
guys
for
had
like,
so much fun
let's
though.
fucking go. Oh, it was so fun. And like, we would have, like beer in the office, and we would do like book club and like investor meetups, but they'd all be like just ratchet fun, like the trampoline in the backyard, like the cops
Ratchet.
getting called. Like it was crazy. And it was, and that's how our team trip started too. One day
Yeah.
someone's like, dude, let's just go to Costa Rica. And I was like, that's a great idea. Okay, guys, we're going to
Why
not
not?
do anything for a week in November, and we're all going to go to Costa Rica. And like, then we
Yeah.
did it every year. Like, what?
Dude,
It was
I'm
just,
telling you, and that's the thing, like people don't understand. I try to explain like Five Pillars, and now EXP has a lot of similar models with other groups, revenue share groups and stuff like that. So Five Pillars has developed so many different ways and different forms and different things. And now it's like you'd look at Five Pillars from the outside looking in, just on like let's say the WhatsApp chats and stuff like this. So different than what it was, but like
oh
in
my
a
God.
good way. You can look at it. Yeah, it sucks. It's not the same, but like now you are providing that value to people all over the country that you guys went through the hard way and learned, you know what I mean? And like a lot of that stems from those early days when I tell everybody, man, if you haven't heard of Five Pillars, most people have. They know Ruben, they know Shelby, they know Mike, they know Mark, whatever it is. Everybody around Fayetteville, they know at some point or another if they've been in the game for a while. And I forgot where I was going to go with that.
I don't know, but it was very
Oh
nice. It was
man,
very
but like,
sweet. Whatever
yeah,
you're
so
saying.
yeah, so that's why I tell people when I'm trying to like, hey, like, who do you work for? Like, who do you work with? And
Yeah.
why should maybe if agent attraction stuff, right? It's like, well, I'll tell you now, if there's anything you need in real estate at all, investments, financial advisors, all that stuff, I was like, I got somebody for it, and it's people I work with and trust that have been doing this a long time. And if you're in Fayetteville, I'd say somebody in Five Pillars has had a hand in every real estate transaction or damn near it, or a network of somebody who knows somebody in Five Pillars type thing. Probably 80% of the deals in Fayetteville in the last like 5, 6, 7 years, odds are somebody in Five Pillars had a hand in it somewhere,
It's pretty cool.
which is
I like
dope.
that. Yeah. Pretty cool.
And that's how I've built my team. Sarah Denny, Steph Kerr, Tim Odell, Mike Glassby.
Rock stars, all of them.
They all run. They all taught me how to do things as I was trying
Dude,
to do a business. So,
that's so funny because I
but
remember all of them in the beginning.
yeah, Yeah, Steph's like, "I miss it so much."
Yeah, it really was
So
the glory days, but anyway.
what what made you tear it all down? Completely tear it down? In your words, you ripped apart the business and started it over.
I did. Well, it depends on when I'm saying those words because I think that in a
We do this
way
all the time. Like, rip it
in a
down.
way it wasn't like it wasn't a complete teardown because I remember thinking this. So this was in Charlotte. This was in 2021 and I had been going absolutely fire gasoline levels of hustle since I got out of the army and actually even
Not
before then.
sustainable. Yeah.
And it wasn't sustainable. And at this point, we were split into 2 markets. We had a Charlotte branch with a Fayetteville office, and I had there's so many agents. There was, which I mean, depending on what you consider so many. I thought it was so many. It was almost 35, over 30, and we had so many admin. And the thing is, I just started thinking about how I didn't like my life anymore. I felt like when we were really small and like we are talking about the glory days and all in one location, it was fun. It was a lot. It was so much work. It was so hard, but it was so fun. And I felt like it was super personal and it was small enough so that way I could really impact all of the people. But the problem was the more that we grew, the more attention we got, the more like, oh my God, what are they doing? That's so cool. The more people wanted to join, more and more people. And it, at that time, I wasn't good at saying no. I was like, oh my God, you want to join this? Anyone can do it. Absolutely. Let's go. Which is really not true,
Yeah.
especially if you want to maintain the culture that we had. Like, if you meet any of us individually, like me, Mike, we just talked about, but like even Steph and Sarah, like the ones that you and Mark, if you meet us all individually, I think that there's like just this level of intensity and competence. The more attention we got and the more people who wanted to join, there's not everyone's like that. And so with
Exactly.
as more and more people join, it diluted what we had. And then it also drained my energy trying to, anyone can do it. Like, I'll train you. Like, you can do this, like pouring into people who really just wanted the result. They didn't want to put in the work
Yes.
to achieve the result. And that's what really drained me over the years and led to that moment where I was like, I don't want to do this. I'm
Yeah.
literally, I hear bitching from people who are not putting in the effort. Like, they're not in it for the team and for the growth in the long term. It's they want to quit. And I was like, I don't have to. I don't have to do this. But I was like, I had all these admin and all these people that I loved. And I was like, man, if I, shut down the traditional business, they're out of jobs, which is like really hard for me because I freaking love these people, you
So
know?
that's where I was going with this arrogance thing. Is like if people look on the outside and if somebody's good at their job, like and they're making good money and stuff like that, and they're doing it right and they're presenting themselves well, like if that person looking at this has any sort of saltiness about them or jealousy or like enviness about it, like they're gonna look at that and is like, I don't like them or something. And that's been my problem my entire life. I've always been a confident person, and people think I'm just cocky. You know what I mean? At the end of the
Gotcha.
day, you ask me if you need help, I will bend over backwards for you. And that's what I
Yeah,
like most about you guys is this is the same way. Like there is nobody that you're going to say no to if they put in the work.
totally.
And that's what I liked about it. And so then you guys just crushed it after that on that as far as building the 5 pillars in a different way. Like I said, these people are going to be out of jobs if we don't incorporate them, but you still are using those same types of people.
Well, that's the thing. That's why I was like, hey, like every single one of these people is competent enough and have already built their own brand to stand on their own 2 feet. And so like Sarah and Steph and, a lot of the even Emily Scott and Katie Browning, all these people were able to go out and do exactly what their jobs were at when they were on salary, except they were able to do them for the agents and get paid direct from the agents. So it really just took out the middleman, which was
Yep.
the team. And then the agents I still provided them all of the resources. We just adjusted training schedule. We adjusted. So that's how Five Pillars Nation was born, where it's like, hey, like we're still a community. It's just everyone runs their own business now, as opposed to having the team babysit.
And that's where EXP's model of revenue share and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I know initially with if you guys were you started EXP was the beginning with 5 pillars, right? You didn't have another brokerage you were part of with
No,
that.
what started Five Pillars Realty Group started at Keller Williams, but we were there from this was January of
Mm,
2019. So I'd been in real estate 1 year when I was decided to start a team, which is
gotcha.
crazy. But it was January through May of 2019. We were at Keller Williams. In May, we all joined EXP.
Gotcha. Okay. So that makes sense. So then like that's the good thing with EXP is you can set up a team, provide value. For all intents and purposes, it's a team, but you're not you're not taking
You're not
commissions from
paying
somebody. You're
them.
not paying extra
Yeah.
splits, like cuz
Great.
if they're going to put in the work, you're going to get paid if you brought them on. Like that's where it comes strategic and why these revenue share groups have now started doing things because they strategically place people with sponsors and all that in order to make the most money. I told you from the beginning this was a pyramid scheme, and you're like, yeah, it sure is. And my wife's like,
Except
are you
not a
sure you?
scheme. But
Well,
yeah,
they're like,
but it
yeah,
is a
it sure
pyramid.
is. But the cool thing is, we're not taking money from you. Like it's EXP rewards people. It's a business
Yeah.
model set up this way, which I appreciated the whole transparency of that. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, it seems like this from the outside.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what it's cool. I like it. I like the model of it. I like
I do
everything you guys
too.
did.
It's
So that
amazing.
I agree. So then with what is five pillars now? We've kind of hinted at it. What is five pillars now? Somebody's like, listen to this. Like, what the hell is five
Yeah, yeah, okay. So when we started as Five Pillars Realty
pillars?
Group, like our whole thing was like we're the agents that bridge the gap between the investor world and the agent world. Like that was our entire brand identity, marketing, all of the things. Because there wasn't really agents that knew investor space. Like well, actually there was not
Well,
an
even
agent
now, you still got to
group.
find one that's good. It's tough.
Oh yeah, it's so tough. And so that's who we were for a while. Then, well, I mean, the whole time we were Five Pillars Realty Group, like the traditional team. Five Pillars Nation, it became we are, which it still is. It's like when you are ready to build a sustainable, scalable business, we are the ones who have systems, processes, how to build a business that you love leading, in addition to all of the investor stuff. Like we absolutely have not left the investor identity behind because it's all who we are like at our core and it's who built it's like the foundation.
Yeah.
But now there's also Five Pillars team of Lexington, which was it's just literally me, Drake, and then I have a virtual assistant and an editor for my YouTube. And what we are is the local Lexington real estate agent team. And our brand here is not investor at all. I totally was like, that is one of the things I will not
I don't know if we'll
bring.
have time with it, but that's one of my favorite like episodes and stuff on your podcast to listen to is like be careful of who you're trying to attract to.
Be careful who you're trying to attract because you don't know it until then you know it. And we could talk about that if you want to. But here in Lexington, it's like we are the veteran go-getters, like basically who we are in regard to the veteran side of things because in Fayetteville everyone is like
You go to a
retired
different
or
market, you
whatever.
don't realize how valuable that is to provide to
Oh my
people.
god, yeah. And but here it's like, "Oh my god, they're veterans, they served. Thank you so much for your service." I'm like,
So is a neighbor.
"Okay."
So is this way over in Fayetteville. It's like so is a guy wandering down the street.
Exactly, exactly, the guy under the bridge. All of you are
Yeah.
yeah, it's like, that's not special.
No.
So, yeah, we've leaned into that for sure. And then also I think the brand here like our five pillars are definitely it's all veteran based like that's the core but your brand is what people think of when they think of you and
Mhm.
that has become relocation specialist if you're thinking about me through YouTube or if you just know me through regular life here it's like oh it's that girl who's also crazy about CrossFit and is like really intense and like on her shit so really the brand is how people know you.
Yeah. No, I definitely see that working well in your favor, especially in Kentucky, we'll consider it the South, right? A little
It
bit in
is.
the
They
South, like
consider themselves the South. I'm, like,
yeah,
looking
good.
at a map, like, I'm not so sure, but okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm from Illinois, so like in my opinion, that is the South, but it's very much still the Midwest.
Yeah.
But like at the end of the day, like those people appreciate veterans, they appreciate all that stuff, and it works well in a market that's not saturated by veterans around
Yeah,
here,
for
where everybody
sure.
and their brother, you throw a dead cat, and you're like, oh, veteran real estate agent. It's like
Yeah.
okay.
And the CrossFit thing is definitely a double-edged sword in the fact that it intimidates some people. It's not for everyone, but then the people who love it really love it. So that's
Mhm.
something that's another change. It's like, I'm not trying to be for everyone because if you're for everyone, you're for no one. It's the riches are in the niches and you being your authentic self is what will attract people who want that version of you, and then you can build a lifestyle where you don't have to shapeshift as much and pretend and
Yeah.
all of these things. So it's just
That was my
be who you
biggest
are.
struggle in the beginning of all this. Like last year at this time, right? Last year, I just talked to my wife about it this morning.
Yeah.
Last year at this time, I had one client that was running me ragged
Oh, yeah.
looking for land. And I talked to you about this one plenty of times. Ended up getting fired from them after finding them the piece of land that they've been looking for 9 months because of other things.
Yeah.
And I was doing it for a 3% commission no matter what the price was. It started out as a home, new construction. It ended up being $60,000 piece of land.
Yeah.
We got it under contract. It was a perfect
Horrible.
piece of land for him, and I got fired. So I'm not knocking anybody on all of it because I did mess up a lot, but I was still learning. And at this time, I had no clients whatsoever and just didn't know where I was going with things. I didn't know if I wanted to do property investments because I was working on a rental property that I got subject to because you guys taught me how to do that. I was like, this is easy. Not, I looked at it. That deal doesn't come by very often.
Yeah.
And I was like, I cannot keep doing this. I don't have the money. One, like you talked about, how am I going to get $20,000, $30,000 for each property? At best, if I did it the way I did it, I needed 30
Yeah.
every time. I took a HELOC out on the house because that made sense, and I can't just keep doing that. So I just didn't know where I was going with it, and I started doing land, and I'm like, why am I trying to act like this dude wearing Hey Dudes and a polo and like all
Yeah.
this? Like that's not me. I
Right.
bought a whole new wardrobe when I got licensed.
Yeah. A lot of agents do.
Dude, that's not me at
Yeah.
all. So I was like, fuck this, dude. Fuck this. I am going to show up in my jeans and boots, show up in this camo hat. Like I can make money walking land with people. Let's do it.
Right.
And that's kind of when everything started taking off because I can't compete with residential people around here. There's so many. Like I just can't do it. And it's not going to be, some people can, I can't. So I was like, what are they missing around? What are they missing around here? Nobody knows how to do land. Cool. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And now I'm competing against maybe 20 other agents instead of 22,000.
Thousands. Yeah.
Yeah.
For
So
sure.
it's worked out for me on that. And that's one thing I want to tell like everybody. It's like stop faking who you are, man. If
Right.
you're gonna post on YouTube, especially and like Instagram, and you're gonna sit here and act like you're this person, they meet you that way, you're not gonna be compatible and they're gonna see right through you. So
Yeah.
that's a big one that I think
Great.
everybody needs to learn.
And you learned it early, honestly.
I forget that I've only been doing this a year. And it pisses me off because I surround myself with people like you guys and the land and ranch crew that sell $1 million properties every day, and it's like it's nothing.
Yeah.
Well, one, that's the average price in those areas, and two, like they've been doing it for 10 years. Like got to cut yourself some slack once in a while.
Right. Totally.
And I'm gonna have to look at this and listen to this later to remind myself.
Yeah. Totally.
So all that 5 pillars is what it is now. You got to be careful who you're attracting because you guys were attracting investors that think they're investors and all that. Like we all seen it. Somebody thinks they're an investor and they just kick the can down the road for months
Yeah.
and months and months. I can't do that. They're not serious about it. They don't have the money to do it. One.
Right.
And two, they don't have the know-how and they want you to do everything for them for 3% commission, or most investors will give you 2% commission. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They're like, oh, we'll keep doing deals. Cool. Sign me up. Nah. Like I'm dealing with it with land investors now. The new flipping and burr method, it is land flipping now, is the new popular thing to do. So it sucks, but it opens other doors, which I've learned quickly. So y'all did the real estate, you did the real estate investing, you attracted these investors, you switched it up on every place you moved to, really, of like what your business model looked like. Where does podcast? I know at one point you were big into hosting podcasts. You still are. You still got yours. You had real estate rock stars at one point. Like,
Cut back so much. And
yeah,
honestly, I don't do interview podcasts. Like, I'm literally just here because it's you.
yeah,
Like, I turned one down yesterday. I turn one down all the
really,
time. People are like, "Hey, will you hop on my podcast?" I'm like, "No, I won't," because
yeah,
your target audience is not my target audience, and I'm very, very protective over my time,
yep.
and that
And
is also what has changed.
that's one thing that I've learned from you too is to protect your time. And we were talking with Ruben yesterday about rev share and like how to bring in other agents. Like help them out? Like, what can you provide to them? Well, my biggest thing, and this is like why I was talking about 5 pillars so much, is people don't understand just how much 5 pillars and what Shelby and Mike and all the OGs have built. Like, the Google Share Drive could run your business if you do it the right way. And it's awesome. Like, that's the only way I knew
True.
how to get started with everything, is everything that was going on, there was a checklist for it.
Oh,
There
for
was a
sure.
script for it. It was phenomenal. And I still need to get back into using it more. But now with the podcast stuff, like that you got into for a couple of years there, you were like big on that. And I know we
Oh, yeah.
talked about podcast stuff 2 years ago. So like, did that open the same kind of doors? And like, did you attract those same kind of people in that realm, I guess?
Oh, I don't regret it. I don't regret anything that I did in regard to podcasting. So I actually got into podcasting back in 2018, and it wasn't in the form of hosting. It was in the form of being guests on. My first one was From Military to Millionaire, which most people in the real estate investing veteran space have heard of. Dave Prey
Dude,
is
some of
like
these
a
ones that you've been on, like that you're like rubbing elbows with, are like the big ones now.
oh,
And
they're
you were
so big.
talking with them a long time ago.
Well, it's crazy because we all were coming up at the same time in different markets, and so, like, we didn't have the local community, but we had each other, and, like,
Mhm.
I mean, Dave and I, we've been to so many different conferences together, like, we've spoken at the same conferences, we've been on a ton of podcasts, but anyway, I was, like, one of his first, I wanna say, like, he hadn't been doing it that long, and now you're right, it's huge. But anyway, so that was kicked off the, oh, I will podcast, cool, let's do it. And so I just, whenever an opportunity arose, whenever someone reached out and they're like, hey, like, investor space, you want to be on my podcast? I'm like, yes. I would say yes to all of them. So different than now. And a lot of them were investor focused. Very few were agent focused. But the investor focus, again, it created more and more momentum to bring in, attracted more clientele in that specific investor space, which worked great for me at the time because I was really into investing. I had Pints and Properties, like everything like really went together well. Then in a couple years later is when I started being interested in agent attraction. And that
Mhm.
is what led to Allie and I started the Agent Goldmine podcast in
Which, if you haven't listened to it,
2023.
also provides a shit ton of
I'm so glad you
tools
think
and
so.
resources. Dude,
Allie and I have a ton of fun.
I have saved every single golden nugget on my
Oh,
computer, every single
yeah.
one.
Oh, that's a
I'm
lot.
not shitting you. That's how I learned how to do, and I was doing this before I got out, and I think that was a huge thing, like a
Good. I'm
huge.
so glad. We have a lot of fun. We still have a lot of fun doing it. And that's the
But it
one that
made me wanna do the podcast because you guys sit there and bullshit and cuss and act like you just don't care, and I love it. That's
it is.
exactly how
Well,
I
that's
want.
the thing. It's like literally we just hang out and then I have to remember, I'm like, oh, people do listen to that.
But I think
Because
that's what people love about it, and that's what
yeah.
I love about it.
Yeah, it's very that's what when Liz Davis, she's awesome. She's in Five Pillars Nation
Mhm.
in New York, and she's like, yeah, whenever I just want to hang out with my friends, I just turn it on, and then I get to hang out with my friends. Like she just feels like she's, and I love her. Anyway, so the Agent Goldmine was really originally like, okay, well, how do we, when Allie and I like to catch up and like, oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you working on? All that stuff. What if we recorded it and then put it out and then used it as agent attraction? And also for people who are in our current Five Pillars Nation, I think a lot of our listeners are people who are in and they just want to keep up and want to learn, you know.
Well, and it gives you another chance to, you can only do so many, like, team
Oh, yeah. Or like one on
weekly
ones or,
calls, you know?
yeah.
Yeah, but then if you like, "Hey, what is everybody asking me the same thing about?"
Right.
Well, let's
Yeah.
bring somebody
Totally.
on here to talk about it, or me and Allie will talk about it, and it's the same concept, and, and you don't have to sit there and keep getting asked questions and hold
For
their hand
sure.
through a conversation. It works really well.
Yeah. So the Agent Gold Mine, and then I had the opportunity to host Real Estate Rockstars, which is
Dope.
very, very long standing, huge podcast. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, I do. I have nothing going on right now in regard to, I wasn't doing sales. I was
Mhm.
not actively investing. I was like, yeah, let's just do podcasting. Let's get really good at talking to an audience. Let's figure this out. And do agent attraction in this and build my brand, build Shelby the brand, whatever.
Yeah.
And that at the time, huge learning curve. It was one thing when it was just Allie and I, like,
Because it's yours. You don't
bullshitting.
really give a shit if it,
Exactly.
that
But Real Estate Rockstars was like, oh, it's been around since 2014. It has a huge audience. They have like expectations. The guests there are really big. Like,
I'm not gonna
we had,
lie, I thought it was you the whole time. So I watched the first few and I'm like, I don't want to listen to this guy. Like I wanted to listen to Shelby. She's
oh,
entertaining.
yeah,
Whoever
yeah,
that is,
no,
I'm
no,
sorry,
I
I don't
took
mean
it
that.
over.
It was a different expectation.
Totally. And that's, I mean, that's really nice and funny. I had people reach out to me when I finally gave the mic back and they're like, where'd you go? Like, we don't
Yeah.
want to let, like,
Dude, you're
come
great at
back.
it. You were great.
Thank you. But it was really cool too because we had some really, really big guests. And so I had the opportunity to interview like really like the online rock stars of the industry, learn, but also build relationships. And I think that that really helped too in kicking off. When I gave back the mic, I was like, hey, I'm not doing this. I'm going to focus on building my business here in Lexington. That first year, a good chunk of my closings came from agent referrals who would be like, oh, I used to listen to you on Rockstars, or I listened to you on the Agent Goldmine, or can you take, and I'm just like, this is great. So I don't regret it. I also learned a lot. Like I have a lot of comfort now speaking into a mic and just seeing my face on a screen and the voice. And that's
Mhm.
something that takes a lot time, a long, long time to get over because it is tough. Like no one
Well,
likes how they
dude,
sound
you
or
see
look.
everybody selfie filming themselves doing stuff, and like,
It's tough.
everybody's a content creator. It's like, dude, some of these people, yeah, they just do it. They love it. They love seeing themselves, whatever. But like, it's a hard thing to do. And you
Oh,
know
it's so
me.
hard.
You know me. I told you from the beginning. I fucking hate social media.
Yeah, I
I
was like,
fucking
that's
hate
no shame.
this.
I
Yeah,
mean, maybe not your love for it, but you're just
dude.
like
Dude,
you've done a
the
lot of
things that
real
hit me,
estate
the
circles.
things that get me the best shit or the best feedback, or like
Mhm.
people have reached out to me now because of the first 2 episodes of this podcast or a video I did or me getting on stage at EXPCon. Like that's what gets people going, because you think about it,
Totally.
nobody has commercials anymore. There's no local TV to like put your commercial on. Billboards don't fucking matter anymore. Like this is how you advertise. This is how you get your name out. Like, and it sucks because people look at it like, oh, they're so full of themselves. Well, it's
I
hard to
don't
do that.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe this is just the glass half full on me, but I'm like, people do they really think that? Like that's I don't know. Um,
Salty people like me do.
I
But at
guess.
the same time, I'm like, I wish I could do it. Like it again, it's
You
that
are doing
jealous.
it, dude.
I know,
You are
but
doing it.
it's hard to get yourself to do it.
But yeah, I agree it's hard. And then after doing it for years, I was able to be really comfortable from the get-go doing YouTube, which is what I am doing now in my business. I've been doing it for 6 months now and just hit 500 subscribers and
Oh
have
yeah,
just looked it up 22 leads from YouTube
I
that
need to
are
get more intentional about it.
it's just like been an incredible experience that I do not think would have been possible had I not done podcasting for years, had Pints and Properties in my background, had been, all of these things led to the moment. And so it's one of those things like if you're listening out there and you're like, I don't know what to do, like do what's hard to build the person that you want to become, like who's good at speaking to an audience, who is confident in tough situations, who can figure it out. Because if you build that person, whatever you end up doing next will be easier because you'll
Yeah,
be the type of person who can stand up and handle the weight
it
of that
becomes
challenge.
natural.
Right, exactly. So
No, I agree, and that's something I need to get a little bit better at. I'm doing it, and this definitely, I didn't even realize it. This helps so
this
much,
does
dude, because
help
you're just talking to somebody that you already talk to every day, right? But then you just post it for everybody to see, which
right.
is an opener. And then I've realized I started filming stuff that I do normally, like every day. People will watch that shit and learn something from it. Like if I'm gonna go check deer stands or trail cams, like with Land and Ranch, why the hell would I not record that? You know what I mean? And post it
Yeah,
on there. So it definitely helps. And I guess I didn't even think about, podcasting and what you were doing and all that, how much it helped you and it gives you confidence, I
for
guess.
sure.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I know we are getting closer on time. So,
You get me.
dude, I get you. And I'm the same way. I got a meeting right after this, actually. So I guess like, and if you honestly, everything that I'm going to ask or talk about on anything with Shelby is gonna be brought up in the Agent Goldmine podcast. Like they talk about everything on there. They teach everything you could possibly want to know. And the best part is they're brutally honest about where they fucked up along the way. You know what I
For
mean?
sure.
Like, don't fucking do this. Like, and Allie, like, dude, she is the most vocal person about how much she is fucked up. And she's going, don't fucking do it. Don't fucking do it. Do something else. Like, don't make the same mistakes we did and slow you down by, a couple months or whatever it is. So, I can't, I couldn't thank you guys enough. I've told you this 100 times, you, Ruben, Raul, Mike, all that. Like, I appreciate everything you guys have done or put out or provide to other people. And like, if you're a new agent or if you're an agent that's been doing this for a while and like, dude, don't get over that hump of 87% of the agents fail. You don't have to. You don't fucking have to. Like, find the right people, find the right team. I guarantee you right now, if you're stuck on something in real estate and you join 5 Pillars or whatever, took a look at the Google share drive that's the education library, stop thinking about shit. Rip off and duplicate. Shelby will let you do it if you are with 5 Pillars.
Literally
Here
give
you
everything
go.
away.
Even if you're not in 5 Pillars, go watch Agent Goldmine. Go watch Real Estate Rockstars. These people are giving their secrets away or things that'll just be easy. Like, at the end of the day, don't reinvent the wheel. It's great. And so that's kind of like how I tell everybody. Just
Well, we appreciate you too. You're a go-getter. You're getting after it. You're trying things, making moves, and like steamrolling a path for yourself, and it's very cool to watch.
Well, I appreciate that because there's a lot of times where I was like, "What am I doing, man?" Like, just
Everyone's like that.
I'm so stressed all the time because if it's not like this day and age, man, like we just thought about it. My wife, she makes, we'll just say $75,000 a year. But when I grew up, where I'm from, $75,000 a year, dude, you were living large. Like, you were good. Now she just looked up. She goes, we're considered lower middle class, like almost on the poverty line. I'm like, yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
that's crazy.
it's crazy. So then I'm sitting here just, I'm busier now than I've ever been, but nothing is giving me like a $30,000 payday. So then you're just sitting there, like, what am I doing? What can I do better? It's just keep doing it. Eventually it'll come. And I'm the guy that knows a guy, and I don't ask for anything in return a lot of the times, which can kill me. But eventually it comes back to help me out in the long run. And it's building relationships. That's all it is. Everybody you talk to is going to say real estate's relationships. So, I mean, I guess really, if you're a new agent, if you're looking, a lot of the people that are going to listen to this are going to be outdoorsy guys a lot of the times, or like our Facebook friends, because that's the only people that listen to this. Just because like Shelby doesn't do land and stuff. Nobody in 5 Pillars did land. Not a single one.
Some sort of trailblazer. That's you.
So I'm like, fuck it. Why not? And I was like, it's something different. You don't have to be doing the same thing. They're going to give you value at the business standpoint. So if you're interested and you're trying to figure out where to go and you're trying to find somebody that's going to help you out, dude, hit us up. Hit us up on this. 5 Pillars is hands down. 2 years ago at this time, I was in a very fucking bad spot. Just life, mental, like just not in a great spot at all. And meeting these people that genuinely give a shit about everybody that they're helping. I've actually never met Shelby in person.
That's so weird.
Dude, it's so weird. We literally, I'll just hit her up and say random off the wall shit. And it's like, it's not like, oh, this guy's weird. Like, it's like, no, man, we're bros.
Yeah.
So find people like that, man. 5 Pillars, the amount of resources they give you is insane. Absolutely insane.
Cool. Well, I really appreciate you. And thank you so much for having me on your podcast.
Thank you. I am super pumped.
It's been a treat. Yeah. And if you guys, listeners, I don't know where he's putting this out, but make sure that you go and give it a 5-star review.
Don't be like me and just listen and not put reviews.
Shame. Yeah. Don't be like him.
I did it a couple times for you guys because I know it's like, oh, I should probably help them.
No, it's good.
But no, it's been good. Where can people reach out to you then, if they're interested in any of this?
Yeah, well, the best way is probably just to go to my Instagram, The Shelby Show, and yeah, from there you can see if you even like me, stalk some of my stuff, shoot me a message. I'd love to message you back, and if there's anything I can do to help, I'm more than happy to help. So
there is nothing not to like. You guys crack me up. I love it. And
cool.
you and Drake are fun to watch. I love Drake. getting in front of the camera out of nowhere once in a
Out
while.
of nowhere, and then he'll
He'll just
disappear
post a
for 4
video,
months.
and then he's like, "What the fuck is this shit on the ground?" Like, it
Yeah.
cracks me up.
Yeah, and then he'll, like, delete it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a fun cycle over here.
I'm telling you, me and Drake would be best friends, I think. I really do, because he's the same way as me. He's like, "This is stupid. I'm gonna tell you honestly, this is stupid." And then I'm gonna do it, and I'm like, "Okay, this is dumb too. I'm gonna delete it." Like,
Y'all, get out of your heads. If you're in your head, you're dead. Okay.
yeah, that's
On
true.
that note, bye.
We'll see y'all later. Thanks for joining the Outdoor Agent Podcast. We'll catch you next time. And as always, buy dirt, plant roots, leave your legacy. We'll see y'all later. Don't hang up. Don't hang up, because I'm going to stop this and still don't hang up.